Hey everyone, and welcome to the Big Hero 6 The Series New York Comic-Con panel. I'm Jeffrey Epstein, not that Jeffrey Epstein, one of the hosts of 23's Inside Disney podcast. And I'm incredibly excited to be here to talk with the producers and the cast of this show that on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most excellent, I give an 11. So let's get to it. Over the past 3 decades, these two men essentially worked on every animated Disney television show you have ever loved, since they joined Goof Troop in 1990. Since then, their credits include Hercules, Aladdin, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, and Kim Possible. Welcome executive producers Bob Schooley and Mark McCorkle.
Thank you.
And their fellow executive producer has a long list of television animation credits, including X-Men Evolution and Wolverine and the X-Men. Welcome, Nick Filippi. All right, and now the members of the incredible cast. You know his face from the hilarious 30 Rock, and you love his voice as everyone's favorite personal healthcare companion, Baymax, Scott Adsit.
Hey. Scott!
Next up, we have the talented man who gives voice to the talented boy. From the original film to animated shorts to video games, the voice of hero, Ryan Potter.
Ryan!
And this fantastic actress totally rocked the role of Mulan in Once Upon a Time, and if you look at her Instagram, you know she's always on the go.
Hey,
wonderful. See what I did there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now for Disney, this guy has voiced characters on The Lion Guard, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Sophia the First. He also stars in a show I am too terrified to watch, but is much more friendly as Wasabi. Khary Payton.
Yeah.
And now this very funny actor makes being a hero-obsessed fanboy, well, very funny. And I can't hear his voice without wanting a taco. The man who is Fred, Brooks Wheelan.
Yeah. My man!
And I relish the opportunity to introduce this man. And if you don't know who Noodle Burger Boy is, well, you need to catch up.
I get it.
Couldn't resist. I could not resist. So welcome, everyone. Great to have you all here.
Thank you.
Thought we'd start with the producers. You guys pack every season with some pretty amazing stories and characters. So what can we expect from season 3?
All kinds of surprises. The highlight for me was we got to do a mansplaining monster. There's no behavior more monstrous than mansplaining. So the idea that we were able to take that and make it into a villain was really, for me, a personal highlight.
We're definitely emphasizing a lot more comedy this season. Most of the episodes are 11 minutes to a half hour. So a lot of surprises that let people sort of open up and do a lot of interesting things with the show and with the characters. So it's a different season.
And we get to find out a little history of some characters we might not have, such as we get to find out a little bit more about Heathcliff and his adventuresome past.
I heard we have a special clip from Big Chibi 6. Bob, you want to set that up for us?
Yeah, this is in season 2. Carmi, who was kind of Hero's rival at school, started doing fanfic that in the show we portrayed as chibis. And over the course of, she's been gone for a while. So this is kind of her return and the return of the chibis.
Hero, hey.
Carmi, hey.
Oh, here. I'm a dreamboat.
Thanks.
Sorry, I've been out of touch. Things were crazy after I left, and... I'm a dreamboat.
So crazy.
Right. Well, I just want to say...
Guess who's back, bleeps? Ow! Come on! Hey, I saw that guy on TV.
Excuse me, do you have VIP front of the line access?
VIP! Oh! I'm your biggest fan. I've been trying to come up with a new game to play, and then your series inspired me. Take a look!
So tiny, chibi, so cute. Chibi, so shiny, chibi, love you. Come on, chibi, chibi, jump up, chibi. Jump, chibi, 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 chibi. Baby, chibi.
Should we do something about us?
For everyone, what are you all excited for people to see this season with the show, with your characters?
I mean, can you ever get enough of Baymax? I'm just wondering. To make sure Baymax is continuously teaching children the benefit of taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. And the show this season, I think, definitely is more comedic, right? Because it is a shorter format. We have to kind of like streamline and get all the jokes into that shorter period, but it still has the same amount of heart that the first 2 seasons did in terms of the writing. So I'm excited for everyone to see that.
I love the big chibi 6. Like that's kind of like
Yeah.
I love so much. And so there's like this whole storyline of like fan fiction and how that plays out, and I love it. I just think it's the cutest thing. But
I mean, personally, I've always dreamed of shooting lasers out of my eyes and condiments out of my fists. So like, this is, it's a dream come true, honestly.
I love all the villains.
Yeah.
I love all of the new villains and their kind of their backstories and just their powers, and it's always very funny and ironic, the powers. I think they're really, really funny this year.
I think I'm most excited about the fans getting a chance to hear all the songs in our season 3. We've doubled, tripled down on singing from unexpected characters. All the nice thing about these 11s is that we got a chance to kind of focus in on some characters, and we have surprise characters that are getting a chance to find their singing voice.
I'm looking forward to fanboying out. The Wasabi gets to truly, I mean, he screams. He has that high pitched, scream a lot, but it'll be screams of joy as well, not just out of abject fear. So I'm looking forward to some of that.
Jamie got to sing this season.
Oh, I was sweating bullets.
That was fun, right? I mean,
no, it wasn't.
you were courageous.
We just saw that episode and it came out great.
Whole new
And Jamie saying it was courageous for you to sing is not an insult from Mark.
No, it's not. She came to play.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had my husband help me. He's really good with music. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I sound horrible. But I was pleasantly surprised. And I think auto-tune's going to be my best friend on that episode.
I gotta say, one of the biggest joys of going in and recording this show has been some of the episodes that you've been in on. And to hear Noodle Burger Boy prior to like the lines that we record, it's hard to like keep a straight face, man. Like, you do such a great job, and like it's freaking hilarious. Yeah,
we don't get to see each other when we make this show. We just go into the booths by ourselves, and we're told the other people have recorded or haven't yet, and we just are kind of like acting in a bit of a void unless we're lucky enough to hear some tracks that have already been laid down.
The only bummer of the whole experience was just that we couldn't all go in as a cast and like really just like, it's just hard to organize.
You come in 10 minutes earlier than you're at like what time to arrive. And like, if you're lucky enough, then you'll like run into, like I ran into Brooks once. Yeah. Ryan, I think I saw you once too. And then like Genesis, I just missed by like a minute, but like I'm always coming in a little early, like hoping to see one of you guys.
That's why we love doing Comic-Con, because we can all get together.
Yeah.
I know.
We are together.
Thank you, Comic-Con.
I was actually going to ask, because you guys have been, because you guys record on your own, do you guys have any fun memories, like Comic-Con or something that really sticks out, the time when you guys all work together or able to do something together in person?
You know what? The coolest thing that I remember, first of all, everybody, I mean, we hung out together like almost all day, and we just had a blast, or at least I did. You have to ask everybody else, but everybody was just a bunch of sweethearts. And then and honestly, the coolest thing was seeing kids between, I don't know, like maybe 4 and 7 years old. Whenever Scott would go into Baymax's voice, they would go catatonic. They would everything on their face would just drop. And
you should not be driving when you hear me do the voice.
No. They're all too young to be driving anyway, but definitely they shouldn't be behind the wheel of an RC vehicle, you know. But yeah, that was the I've seen people do voices and stuff, but I don't know if I'd ever seen kids react to Baymax. It's like he calms them down. They just kind of drop everything and just stare in astonishment. And it was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, this is my first time getting to see a lot of everybody. I mean, pretty much everybody. So it's nice to join you guys. Thanks for having me on this thing. It's really cool. I wish we got.
Oh, we're so glad you're there.
Dang, yeah. I mean, but it was such a cool show to join you guys and doing the show. You know, because I was newer. Some of you guys have been doing it for a minute. Some people joined with the TV show, but like it's such a fun cast. It's such a talented cast, and Bob and Mark. I mean, these guys, you know, they just make it really fun to be there.
We got to have Stan Lee obviously on the show a few times, and I got to meet him once, and I was so excited. I was like, I have something I can talk to him about, and not just stutter all over myself. I was like, we're on a show together, and he was like, can you get me more cameos? Cameos on that show, and it immediately put me to work. So it was so exciting because I missed him coming and going. There was one time that he was there like a half hour before I got there, and I missed him. So I was lucky enough to meet him at a convention once, and yeah, just so cool to be able to sit down and actually have something to talk about business wise with him and feel like you're just actually having a conversation with Stan Lee. So that show gave me that at least as well.
I never met Stan Lee. I wanted to, obviously, but then like after he died, I was like, it was like a weird amount of like, well, that's my cartoon dad. Like it was, it was like double. Like I was like, well, he's amazing, but also, yeah.
It is cool to get to like touch, you know, indirectly. Like, I don't know, man, a part of like at this point, like the global story, like firmament, like Stan Lee is like embedded in pretty much every kid's life. It's just kind of amazing to get to sort of like, you know, make a weird voice on the same show as that dude. Like it's pretty mind blowing. And it's really cool.
Rest in peace, Stan Lee.
Yeah, R.I.P. the man, the myth.
Lucas, you touched on this a second ago about joining the cast as this, initially a guest star and now fairly regular. Mark and Bob and Nick, you guys have had some of the best guest stars on your show. Any fun ones coming up this season that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, Nicole Bloom from Superstore is terrifically funny as a romantic interest for young Fred. So we'll see how Fred does in the field of romance. It not to spoil anything, but it's a slight uphill.
That's my favorite episode of for me of any of them, because it just was really, really, really. Fred tries to act suave, and that's the most funny thing I can see a nerd doing.
Yeah. She was terrific.
We have Kirby Howell Baptiste from The Good Place and Barry and Killing Eve. She's done so much.
I worked with Kirby way back in the day. Yeah, she
was fantastic. She was fantastic. She's in the story where we learn a little more about Heathcliff's shady past, shall we say.
Adventuresome, I thought we were.
Adventuresome.
Shady.
Suave.
Chivalrous.
But she was great. But yeah, it's always fun when you do cartoons that you can sort of, cast people who can come in for a half hour and do amazing things for you.
I feel terrible because he was so incredible. I felt like you brought me in the same time as him to show me how to do this.
Jeff Bennett.
Jeff Bennett.
Yes, Jeff Bennett, who plays
Baron von Steamer.
Baron von Steamer was like the most professional human being I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's done everything, and we've worked with him for years, and he's just one of those guys that comes in and nails it every time. He's just fantastic.
Yeah, I felt like you brought him in on my third day to be like, and that's how it's actually done.
Jeff is like they built a voice actor to do this from scratch. He's like Vision. He's really like, like
he's got one of the stones,
built
man.
him out of the ether. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
So Ryan, you and Hero have essentially grown up together in a lot of ways. What's that been like for you paralleling?
A lot of favors of talking to nephews and little cousins over the phone, and like it's incredible though, because in terms of the community that the show represents, there hasn't really been not that there hasn't been accurate portrayals of people of color in animation. It just maybe not necessarily an authentic and genuine approach. And the show has really given at least all the Asian kids that I've talked to around the United States over the phone during the holidays, a hero and a team of seeing a team of people that don't look like them support an individual that looks like them was something that was just like brought up multiple times in these conversations that I had with all the moms and dads of these kids. And that coming back full circle for me is incredible, because I didn't really grow up with heroes that sounded or looked like me. So to leave that for a generation below me is it's an honor, and I'm very grateful to have grown up with Hero.
Yeah, how old were you when you got Hero? Like, because
16 and a half ish, like 17. Wow. And then
so like his age.
Yeah.
A little, yeah, basically it's like a little bit older. Yeah. So awesome. in terms of growing up, I think the only thing that's different between the two of us is Hero's a lot smarter than me, but I have a lot more hair than he does.
Well, we'll see after the lockdown.
Jamie, you've played Mulan and Go-Go, and while they're both heroes, so say there was a parallel universe where they had to go head to head, who do you think would win?
Oh man, well Mulan is she's very brave, and she's very great with the sword, but Go-Go is fast, and she's an engineer, and she's really smart. So I would think I would go with Go-Go.
Well, I will say too, if the competition had to do with our writer's room, Go-Go wins. Go-Go's the character everybody in a punch-up is pitching lines for.
She does have the best line.
If the writers had their way, this show would be 22 minutes of just Go-Go deadpanning, and everybody else would be like, can I get one line?
I think Go-Go might win every fight that she's lined up.
Yeah.
Brooks, I feel like Fred is the guy that everyone could go and hang out with, although that may just be because I love tacos. Is he the kind of guy that you would love, or would he drive you crazy?
I mean, I hope I would like him, because I feel like I'm similar to him. I feel like Fred overstays his welcome, which I regularly do when I do the VO. Like, then I hang out for like a half hour and show Bob and Mark YouTube clips while they're trying to work. So I hope I would like him, because I think I am him and I want people to like me. So there.
Oh, we like you.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Overstay your welcome? Nah.
Yeah, I'm always just hanging out. One time I drank too many Mountain Dews during the video and had to take a break.
It was visible. He was shaking.
Sweating. I got too excited. The fridge at where you record is stocked with Dews. And I had I had quit drinking.
That's the name of your autobiography.
No, you're nothing like Fred. You're nothing like Fred.
It's like, oh my gosh. So I drank 2 20-ounce Dews.
Every promo Brooks has done has always been about like, oh, it's just me screaming in a closet. And then like every post we do is like, the least you can do is watch it. I've just been screaming nonstop.
Well, we did do one. We did like a little Fred's episode where there was like a Baymax Dreams where there was like 200 Freds, and that was in my closet with no air conditioning. It was like a 3-hour record where he was yelling a lot, help, save me. And I did like almost pass out. I was like, we got to have it, right? Yeah.
The walk-in closet voiceover studio gets so hot and humid and nasty after a couple of hours. You know, I mean, I love being able just to roll out of bed and walk to the closet and be able to do it. But man, I'm just the clothes are flying off after about 45 minutes. I'm just dying.
And also,
yeah, and you can't have your hair on.
And Khary,
No, you can't have
the
the
difference between what you said and what I did is I don't have a walk-in closet. It was me out in a closet yelling.
You're just standing.
Yeah.
You're standing there in a tiny
sweating. And then Bob and Mark are so nice. They're like, you can like crack the door and get some air. I'm like, thank you. I feel like the least you can do is watch it, man. I'm just putting sweat, blood, and tears in this thing.
He suffers. He suffers for his art.
I'm not even getting dues when I'm doing it at home.
Well, Khary, just speaking of people who are like their characters or not like their characters, while I am way too terrified to watch The Walking Dead, who would you say you're more like, Ezekiel or Wasabi?
I am more fearful like Wasabi. I am less organized like Ezekiel, probably. Wasabi's got stuff in every play. Everything's got to be just so. It's got to be perfect. If I turn this camera around, you would see the explosion that is the laundry I have yet to do. You know that. So I'm really not very much like Wasabi. They're both incredibly dramatic, and I would say I'm probably a bit of a drama boy myself. So in that way, I'm like both of them. But
which of your characters would survive coronavirus during this pandemic? I think Wasabi is.
Wasabi without a doubt.
He's got hand sanitizer for days.
I'm pretty sure he's got a COVID-free bunker already built. You know, in the bottom of Fred's mansion basement.
How would Wasabi do in the Walking Dead world?
Ooh.
He would have been dead a long time ago. He would have been running so quickly, just running away from dirt stains that he would have run headlong into a walker. You know, just running like run right into.
But then, what kind of zombie would he be?
He would still be trying to clean things.
Yeah, and he would be very choosy who he eats.
Yeah. He'd be
Wasabi, the fastidious zombie.
Exactly. Yeah. The anal retentive zombie.
Season 4.
There's another spin-off for that show.
Yeah, I was about to say, Wasabi, the fastidious zombie, really rolls off the tongue. It's great.
Scott, they were talking a little bit earlier about how wildly popular you are at these conventions and the voice. That voice. I have to know, how many voicemail messages have you been asked to record?
Well, it happens quite a lot, actually, and I'm always happy to do it. And so I have like friends who have kids, or I have kids who want it, or I have adults who. It's amazing. Like, Disney fans are very dedicated and emotional about their love for Disney stuff, and that's such an honor.
I don't know what you're talking about.
but it's funny to I'll go off and generally record it by myself and like bring it back to somebody if they want it on their phone, and quite often you'll get adults crying because of the nice things Baymax is saying to them, just being kind, which is really kind of beautiful. And then occasionally I'll run across, like on YouTube, a kid doing an impression of Baymax, which is just so magical to watch. I love that. If anyone's watching and they want to do more Baymax impressions, I love watching that, because the kids are just so, you can see it in their face. They want to be like Baymax, which is pretty cool, because there's nothing negative about him.
I came on for the cartoon, so I don't know how you even came up with the Baymax. Like, when you went into audition, was this a thing you did at like Second City or before or anything?
No, I think I just read the script for the audition, and I just decided on the most benign voice I could find. And it's just me at my least cynical, I think.
I was gonna say, man, like I could listen to Baymax like books on tape, like anything.
Baymax needs to do the Calm app and like
Yeah.
put it on bed, you know, like-
that'd be great.
I would be so calm. It'd be incredible.
ASMR.
Well, speaking of voices, Lucas, weird,
Yes.
wild, wacky noodle burger boy, that voice. Can you please explain how you do that voice? Because it doesn't sound anything like you.
I've auditioned for Bob and Mark before for a few different shows and things like that, and gone in, and like, you know, oftentimes they provide you with like a little like picture of like a doodle of like where the character is, what it sort of looks like right now. And honestly, I'll just look at that picture and I'll just keep making voices till something kind of clicks. So you're like, oh yeah, that's what that dude sounds like. And I mean, Noodle Burger Boy, just instantly, the second I saw like the Bob's Big Boy sort of like thing of it, I was just
describe what he looks like.
Well, yeah, he looks like he's a tiny little boy, but he has a burger for a head made out of noodles. And he's got red suspenders. And you're just like, oh, this guy obviously has a high-pitched, insane voice.
So obviously the fans are watching. Do you guys have any really memorable fan experiences that weren't, you know, obviously scary for you?
Well, the good news is I don't think we had any scary ones, at least that I recall, but that I ever heard of. But.
I think the fun thing is that when you do Comic-Con, there's always kids that are dressed up like the characters.
Yeah.
I think this show, though, because it's basically promoting friendship and friends as family, is, I mean, we feel pretty good about the message it's sending to kids, I think.
I think the other thing, after we saw the movie, we got to see sort of a sneak peek of it. And one of the first things Bob and I both came away with was it's such an optimistic view of science. And I think we didn't really anticipate that in the, you know, these years that we've been working on it, that science was kind of in for a beating, you know, like poor science is not quite getting regarded the way it should, you know? So I feel good about this show. And the message.
Yeah, honestly, the moment where Gogo kind of walks into Hero and is like, as the baddest, you know, like science girl you've ever seen, you know, and kind of throws her skate wheels, you know, into the trash. And I think literally everybody with Hero, everybody turned and was like, oh, these are where the cool kids stay. You know,
right.
And you know, at that moment, I feel like if you didn't think that already, that was the moment, you know, in Big Hero 6 where it was like science is the coolest thing that you could, if you really get into it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
Fred shows that if you aren't that smart, just have smart friends, and then
Okay.
The key to life.
Trust their expert opinions.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think particularly what I love about season 3 is that with Noodle Burger Boy, like what he really wants also is friendship, and he wants his family back. So you get to see that side of, you know, it's like it goes the storyline of like friendship and family goes on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah. Beyond just the heroes.
Yeah. Well, that was like one of the cool things about sort of the original like movie too, right? Where it's like the villain's big motivating factor is loss, right? The loss of his daughter. And so I think like whenever you're, you know, like working with stories that sort of understand that a lot of the whys and wherefores for our lives come out of like dealing with a loss or dealing with love, you know, our various relationships as they turn around love and loss. And I think like a show that believes that like friendship is like one of the best, you know, one of the ties that can bind us together, especially when you know, loss is sort of inevitable, but friendship is always there. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's always somebody who can be your friend. And I think like, that's why like, you know, Iron Giant and all like the great friendship, Big Hero 6, all these great stories about like that are built around a friendship, Aladdin and the Genie, you know, and it's just like, I don't know, those are always sort of like some of the most powerful stories for me, because I really do think that friendship is like one of those things that it really is as powerful as people say it is. And it's cool
Yeah.
to be in a universe that embraces that.
Well, before we go, I heard we have a clip from the K-pop song "Beautiful on the Outside." Mark.
Yes, we had the incredible honor and pleasure to work with Nikun and Jay Park, who brought our boy band For to Sing, Wasabi's favorite boy band, to life. And this is a ballad for our times, a sort of ode to superficiality and shallowness that we hope you enjoy.
When I saw you shopping at the mall, I said this girl has truly got it all. And maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna love her. Cause baby, I just walked by the car. I don't mean to troll, you might have a garbage soul, but you're beautiful, you're beautiful. When you ask, boy, can you give me a ride? Sure, girl, cause you're beautiful on the outside. Hey, hey, but only on the outside. You're beautiful on the outside. Hey, hey, pretty iffy on the inside. You're beautiful on the outside. You may say, hey, that's not very deep, but look around me, girl, and the company I keep. We ain't no Einstein, Edison's, or Marie Curie, but on the outside, girl, we're pretty, pretty, pretty. I don't mean to troll, you might have a garbage soul, but you're beautiful, you're beautiful. And when you say you love me, I guess you lie, but I don't care, cause you're beautiful on the outside. Hey, hey, but only on the outside. You're beautiful on the outside. Hey, hey, pretty iffy on the inside. You're beautiful on the outside. Only on the outside. You're beautiful on the outside. Only on the outside. You're beautiful on the outside.
Well, Bob, Mark, Nick, Lucas, Scott, Ryan, Brooks, Jamie, and Khary, thank you all so much for being a part of this panel, joining us here today. And everyone out there, you can catch the new season of Big Hero 6, the series, now available on Disney XD and in Disney Now.